Good day, my fellow African giants. My name remains Leftist Igbinomwanhia. By the grace of God Almighty, I'm the coordinator, Nigerian Anatomy, a brainchild of the Africa Voices International. I was mandated by the president of the African Voices International to dwell on this topic, being resolute as African giants. I'm going to make a few points. We have peculiar challenges that is befalling us. Today, an average African has been turned against his own brother because of the Caucasian ideology that we have embraced over time. You don't expect a man who took our ancestors as slaves for slavery to tell us the better part of our history. No. A man who came to steal and rob you, solution on how to find that those who are responsible. It will be a complete waste of time for you to flow with such an individual. Honestly, Africa must define themselves, how to live within themselves, how to govern themselves. We must define our educational system. That has become a very big problem. Some time ago, I dwelled on a topic, pattern education. Education has been patterned so badly that what our fathers studied in the 60s and in the 40s are still the same thing we are passing through. Why don't we design the African way of education? After all, before the white man came, Africa has come of age. Africa has two universities. This is where university were built, the first and the second one. One was built in Kemen, Egypt, and the other one was built in Timbuktu, present-day Mali. And most of the Greek philosophers you see today study in Africa. That is the reason Africans should be proud of themselves. Introduction of reading and writing started from this continent. Civilization started from this great continent. Why should we be depressed? Of course, we should be depressed because we have left our way and run after the Caucasian ideology. Ideology that is detrimental to us as people. For us to make progress as people, as one people, we must reverse and return to our ways, the ways of our ancestors. We must do automatic U-turn. That is the beginning of our progress. Until we take that decision, we'll continue to suffer and wallow in ignorance. Honestly. Today, the white man has come with an ideology, brain drain ideology. They have made life so difficult for us as Africans, so that they can take off the best of the best brain out of this great continent. Today, who are the ones developing the West? They are Africans. As of today, they are Africans, whether you like it or not. Because why? For them to succeed, they must make life unbearable for Africans, so that the best of the best will find their way out of the continent. One example is Francis Ugano of Cameroon. It took him less than 3 years when he left the shore of Africa to become the strongest man in the world. Miss martial artist is the strongest, unbeatable. If he had been here all this while, he would still be in the sand mine, struggling. That is just one example, and we have thousands of them like that. Africans should be the one to develop Africa. How do we achieve this? First and foremost, we must develop ourselves. We must love ourselves. We must live without boundaries. We must stop killing ourselves. We must reject what has been given to us that is dividing us. Religion, tribal bigotry, partisan politics. Those are the greatest enemy of man. Partisan politics is dangerous in the sense that the man who is involved that is talking to you means nothing from what he's giving you. From what he's telling you means nothing. If you ask him in the next seconds, he has no knowledge of what he has told you. Politicians drive the capitalist ideology, which is dangerous to this great continent. Religion. A man cannot win battle better than the way he will win it from the aspect of religion. Religion goes beyond tribe. Religion does not recognize tribe. A man of the same tribe can kill themselves because of religion. That is where religion is more deadly. We must begin to love ourselves. We must fight any factor of division among us. We should try work so hard to defeat any angle of division among us. Honestly, tribal settlement is also an issue we must fight. We must begin to look at the human person, not tribe. I have one head, 2 hands, 2 legs, 2 ears, 1 mouth, 2 eyes. There's only different from me and you. Why should we be killing ourselves? Because of tribe. Why? Does it really make sense? And the West sold those ideas to us. They make you to believe that we are divided by tribes, that they are not divided by tribe. The issue of First World War was a tribal war. The Second World War, was a tribal war. But they could name it World War. Have they told you that the Ethiopian defeated the Italian soldiers and captured them and take them as prisoners of war? Were you told? No. They make you to believe that your ancestors are demons, and we believe them. Most of you worship the Western ancestors and be calling your ancestors demonic in nature. Christ, Muhammad are ancestors of the Jewish and the Arabs. Where are your ancestors, fellow Africans? Where are your own? You should tell me. You go to Saudi Arabia for worship at a particular festive period. The Christian go to Jerusalem to worship at a particular religious festive period. Where do Africans go to worship their own ancestors? Where? Have you asked yourself? A race that was once strong, that captured the world, that colonized the world, is not defeated. For we to rise up, we must begin to love ourselves. We must begin to challenge those things that are dividing us. We must give ourselves hope. We must begin to know our root. Where do we get it wrong? And begin to apply remedy to those areas we have gotten it wrong. Poverty is something of the mind. The truth is that, is Africa poor? No. Africa is the richest continent in the world. But they make you to believe that you are poor. They are succeeding because we are dividing and running after those that took our ancestors for slavery. We are running after them. A man, like I said before, a man who stole from you, he still is the man that is giving you direction to look for what he has stolen. How will you get result? No, you won't get there. You will never get there. No way. No matter how good you think you are. If you are educated and your education is limited, indoctrinated, you are not educated. Education is to make positive impact in our society. Today we have leaders who have degrees, and their degrees are translated to nothing in this great continent. We have also been part of our backwardness. Thomas Sankara was killed by fellow Africans. Brother Muammar Gaddafi was also killed by fellow Africans. We are instrumental to their killing, to their death. Nkrumah, the greatest ruler, the greatest leader of this great continent, was betrayed by his fellow African, Olympian Sylvanus, or so. The first president of Togo was also killed by his fellow African brother with the help of the West, by Yedema then. So several African leaders has been killed by their own people. Nobody has killed our leader without we being part of it. Those are some of the things which will change. Today we have a vibrant leader in Africa today, a young man, 37 years old man. We are lucky to have him. I'm also using this medium to appeal to all Africans to support the president of Burkina Faso, President Ibrahim Traoré. Is a vibrant young African leader. In less than 5 years, he has made wonderful changes in his country. I want us to use his good works to challenge our various leaders in our various countries today in Africa. We should start talking of it, of what he has done. He has taken Burkina Faso from nowhere in less than 5 years to somewhere. We should all rally around him, himself, the president of Mali, and the president of Niger. Those three leaders. And just recently, I think Namibia president, if the first female president in Africa, elected president in Africa, we should rally around them. Africans should love themselves. Africans should never lose strength in this continent. This continent is blessed, is rich, is the best continent in the world, is the biggest continent in the world. This continent can swallow the American continent, the Asia continent, and the Middle East. Honestly, is the biggest continent in the world. Don't mind what they are drawing for you. We must begin to hold our leaders accountable. You should challenge those who are in leadership who are not doing well, merely constructively. We should not be partisan in nature, like I said before. If you are one of those who support those who are taking your fellow brothers, you are the greatest fool. You must begin at every point, stand for your people. You must begin to be light, that light that they desire in your locality. You must stand as light. You must defend the defenseless. It's your responsibility as an African to do so. Nobody can do it better than you. We must love this great continent with our heart and serve this continent and save it from falling. How come they are forcing things on us? Have they ever forced what is good on you one day? No. Today we are being faced with challenges like GMO, genetically modified organism. I want to beg all Africans to challenge it, to resist it. The man that controls your food is the man that controls your life. Those are some of the reasons Thomas Sankara was killed. And they are coming because they colonize, they do so many negative things to us. We are still very strong and resilient. Now they are coming to come and take over our food and control our food. We should reject GMO food. Africa can feed the world and feed itself. Anything. The West has no land their land is not fertile, they should go and use the GMO for themselves. All Africa must begin to advocate for organic food, organic seeds. Be an advocate for organic food, organic plants, organic seeds. Today, they want to make organic seed and plant illegal. Just imagine. And they are making some of those laws because the misleader we have in this great continent are benefiting from those things, and they are taking side. The people is the strength of every nation. We must continue to rally around ourselves, speak tough, strong against those who are enemy of progress. We shouldn't take the part of happy slave. We should be in charge. We shouldn't be a certified slave. We should be the master that we used to be in the days of our ancestors. And Africa has never been poor. We became poor since the visit of the colonial masters. Before then, poverty is unknown. I think these little points that I have touched today will awaken your spirit as an African. I begin to read books written by African authors, not by the Caucasians. The man who took our ancestors for slavery, who came to rape our mothers, our sisters, who came to raid our land, who came to grab our land, will not tell us our history. We should be the one to tell our own story. The African story, the untold story of Africa. The responsibility to tell such story lies on our shoulder. We should begin to bring our children up in the African way. It's our collective responsibility to save Africa. We should be strong and be shock absorber. We should fight against any forces that is not of help to Africa. Let me leave you with this. May God bless Africa. My name remains leftist Amosa Igbinomwanhia. Thank you for listening.